had nothing to do with a shooting in this club. I want to make this 100% clear. I had nothing to do with a shooting in this club.
I'm facing 25 years, and you looking at probation? Yeah, those are the things that, you understand, are unacceptable. You don't have to hold my hand. You don't have to do nothing, but don't try to hurt me.
Mr. Combs went by himself in a limo with Miss Lopez, went to a club. He did not possess a gun. She did not possess a gun. Whatever happened at the club had nothing to do with him.
The other lawyers was like, yo, my guy ain't do it. Maybe that guy did it. That's the word on the street.
That's absolutely what it was. But he was under a lot of pressure, from the lawyers, throw me under the bus.
Right now, I just want to go and be with my kids, and I'm just grateful.
What about Shyne, Mr. Combs?
I'm just grateful. Thank you, sir.
So imagine sitting there for 10 years for defending yourself and your friends and watching your life, your career.
They took time. See, time is the most precious thing in the world.
Being in the right place at the right time can change your whole life. But the same can be said for being in the wrong place. What if protecting your own life and the life of your friends led you to throwing your promising future down the drain? This story begins in 1998, when Jamal Burrow, aka Shyne, was 18 years old. He was rapping at a barbershop in Brooklyn to a person who had connections to Bad Boy Records, the biggest record label in the country at the time. Bad Boy Records had just gone through many ups and downs. The legendary Notorious B.I.G. was shot and killed the year before. The rapper Mace helped rescue the label with his songwriting and rapping skills, blowing up into a superstar. Puff Daddy, who was known as a producer, blew up as a rapper as well, with songs such as All About the Benjamins. In April of '99, the label's frontrunner Mace retired to be a pastor. The Bad Boy throne was now for the taking. After stepping up to become Puff's prodigy, Shyne changed Bad Boy Records' shiny suit image into a more street and raw image. He had his debut album on the way, and everything was looking up for Bad Boy Entertainment's next rising star. But that was all about to change. On December 28, 1999, Shyne, Puff Daddy, and his then new girlfriend Jennifer Lopez went to a club on Times Square to celebrate the upcoming Shyne album. Lopez herself had a breakthrough hit earlier that year, so Puff and her were very much the it couple at the time. While the crew were enjoying their night, allegedly, Puff Daddy and a man bumped into each other, causing a drink to spill, and words were exchanged. According to Shyne, one of the men arguing with Puff Daddy pulled out a gun, threatened them, before Shyne pulled out a gun and shot him. A gun brawl ensued in the club and 3 people were injured in the fight. After firing shots, Shyne fled with Puff, Jennifer Lopez, and a bodyguard. Their Lincoln Navigator was pulled over by the police and a pistol was found inside.
Shyne,
Yeah.
when that happened,
Yeah.
when that incident you allegedly did that,
Yeah.
did you feel as if you were in fear for your life, or was you protecting your friends?
I was in fear for my life. Scar, who was the instigator, I know Scar from Brooklyn. Those are my guys. I didn't really have a problem with them. That wasn't my beef. That was Puff's issue. I seen them, it was all love. But when they started arguing with Puff, I know what these Brooklyn guys are capable of. And I seen somebody reach for a gun, and I reached for my weapon, and I defended my friends and myself. That was not me trying to get a name. That was me really trying to, see my mother the next day. And I was always taught that it's better to be tried by 12 than carried by 6.
Shyne, Puff, and Lopez were all arrested and taken into custody to face questioning. News of the incident broke quick, and it was reported that multiple people were shot inside, including innocent bystanders. Lopez was acquitted of any involvement fairly quickly. Puff's glamorous career was now on the line, as well as Shyne's aspiring one.
He had nothing to do with this whatsoever, and it is very, very frustrating to keep on going through this where anything happens anywhere, he's blamed for it.
The feds came down on him hard as the gun which was found was linked to the label.
Puffy Combs has 300 employees and a lot of cars. And yes, it's true that it was registered to Bad Boy Entertainment. But you know what's more important, sir? That he never went in that van to that club. He went in a private limousine. Therefore, how would he know there was a gun in the car?
He's a corporation, and he's just thinking about the corporation. So obviously, you know, something like that affects the corporation terribly. We didn't have an opportunity for him to say thank you for saving my life, for saving Jennifer's life, you know, for saving all our lives, because he was thinking about, you know, the corporation.
You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
While both awaited the trial, Shyne released an album and dropped 2 infamous music videos, Bad Boys and Bonnie and Shyne. What made Shyne's project different from previous Bad Boy projects was the lack of Puffy's presence on it. As we all know and as Suge Knight stated, Puffy was usually all in the videos dancing. Shyne stated, Diddy distanced himself from me due to the upcoming trial. In 2001, Puff and Shyne were tried in separate trials. Armed with high-priced attorneys, Puff was acquitted of all charges. The same couldn't be said for Shyne, as he was found guilty on 2 counts of assault, reckless endangerment, and gun possession. Many criticized Diddy for not helping out Shyne during his trial, as Nas famously rapped on his 2002 song Purple, "I don't like the way P. Diddy did Shyne with different lawyers."
Cause I went to the judge like 3 times complaining about inefficiency with my lawyers, cause they was just dumbing out. Like witnesses be on the stand, they would ask them 2 questions that didn't make sense and then sit down. It's obvious that they was selling me, you understand, in order to appease him. You know, there was a dual loyalty there.
Shyne later said that Diddy turned his back on him while he went to prison. Diddy was only facing probation, and Shyne was facing 25 years. In an act of betrayal against a man who helped save his life and his then-girlfriend's life, Diddy called a witness to the stand that testified against Shyne.
Like, how do you call a witness to testify against your comrade? I'm facing 25 years, and you looking at probation. Yeah, those are the things that, you understand, are unacceptable. You don't have to hold my hand. You don't have to do nothing, but don't try to hurt me.
I think that I'm the embodiment of integrity, because the way I behaved after my arrest and during my trial is very important, because there's nothing more that district attorney wanted than the conviction of Sean Puffy Combs.
I'm gonna go on record and think Puff Daddy was not gonna do 10 years in jail, 20 years in jail.
After the incident, Shyne did nearly 9 years in prison for attempted murder, assault, and reckless endangerment. Diddy went on to become one of the richest artists and producers in music history.
There's nothing about being incarcerated that's a joke. It's a nightmare. You know, it really is a nightmare, no matter how you slice it and you dice it. You know, but I'm a warrior, and I conditioned myself, you know, that one day I was going to wake up from this nightmare. So really what I did is I just made the best of my nightmare. But I was living a nightmare, make no doubt about it. So imagine sitting there for 10 years for defending yourself and your friends and watching your life, your career. Even though I was lucky to put out a #1 album, it's still not being out there performing in front of tens of thousands of people, doing what I do. I love making music. I love
They took
performing.
time. They took time. See, time is the most precious thing in the world.
Shyne embraced Judaism in prison and renamed himself Moses Michael Levi.
You go upstate, right?
Yeah.
Most people go upstate, they either wild for the night or they become Muslim.
Yeah.
You become Jewish. There's a Malcolm X moment. Like we in jail and Malcolm turned into a Muslim. How did you turn into like a Hasidic Jewish?
When released from prison in 2009, Shyne was deported to his native Belize and was banned from re-entering the U.S. He began dropping more music, but it seemed that he had lost the spark he had before the fateful night. In 2019, to everyone's surprise, Shyne announced that he was now a politician, running for election to represent one of the most downtrodden and dangerous constituencies of Belize.
I was very concerned that after 10 years that I would preserve my mental health and I would preserve, my state of mind. And I think it was important. That journey was important. Those years that I did in Israel were very important, which is leading to where we at now, where I'm running for the House of Representatives. And I'm going from, being in trouble with the law to making laws that will not oppress the very few, will not oppress the marginalized, will not oppress, those people who are impoverished and who don't have means.
In November 2020, Shyne won a seat in Belize's House of Representatives. On Instagram, Shyne stated, "This victory is for all those who are just like me in Belize and the world over. All those who have taken a fall. All those who have stumbled on their life's journey."
Everybody thinks Shyne comes home from 10 years like Tupac and just bombs on everybody. And he's going to go crazy. And then you come out and you're changed. And it's a beautiful thing, Shyne.
The relationship between Shyne and Diddy has improved since Shyne's 10-year prison bid. Although the two briefly feuded, the two have smoothed things out, resulting in Shyne's brief appearance during the Bad Boy Family reunion tour in 2016.
I wanted to explain to people the whole thing, not to glorify the past or what happened, but to show that someone can honestly change their life and become a beautiful person, a good man, a family man, and even better yet, a politician.
I hope that, as you said, we can inspire this generation to believe in principles, in morals, in values, and integrity. It really does matter. Character really does matter.
In this story of betrayal, incarceration, and redemption, the decision Shyne made that night might have cut his music career short, but his character and integrity allowed him to transform himself from a convict to a politician. Protecting his friends led him to doing nearly a decade in jail and getting him deported from the country where he was about to make it big. Despite his circumstances, he took control of his life in a major way and was still able to make something of himself.